Zion Williamson. Not only is he planning on signing his new contract extension, he's planning on signing it publicly, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right?
That it seems to be the plan, and they're going to do it relatively quickly. I remember when he talked to us in April for the first time all season, he was asked about the extension, and he said, I wouldn't be able to sign it fast enough. And, of course I would sign it, all this kind of stuff. He is going to sign it very quickly. Per the CBA, they are allowed to start signing these extensions at 12:01 p.m. tomorrow, or on July 6th, which just happens to be Zion's 22nd birthday, by the way.
Oh,
if I can get $193 million on my birthday, I would also be a very happy camper. But he is going to sign it. I would expect an official announcement from the Pels very, very quickly tomorrow.
Let me ask you this. Is it actually going to, I know that it's 193 million possible. The details about what's guaranteed have been kept very tight so far. But
very much so.
I mean, they can keep them tight, and I respect that. It's fine. But the NBA world will know. The contract will be filed, and it will be known what's guaranteed. Would you expect, Andrew, that a contract that was agreed to, like I think July 2nd or 3rd, they agreed to it?
Yeah, it was the 3rd or second, I think.
Considering that the Pelicans had time and the rules on their side, I would think that they kind of would have achieved something that they were after, which was protecting themselves on part of this contract. So would you assume that some or significant part of this contract is injury protected, or maybe you could use the word non-guaranteed? They may fight the word non-guaranteed, but injury protected somehow?
Yeah, I would expect that they would have gotten something. I mean, if it was going to be, just a regular, hey, this is the 5-year 193, it might have been done a little bit quicker. But
if Zion was digging in,
true,
that he would have waited, the Pelicans would have waited. I think it's more the other way. Like if the Pelicans didn't get some concessions, they wouldn't have agreed so fast.
Right. And the other thing was, the other big concession is what's the 5th year on this? Is it the player option? Is it the team option? Like you said, everyone is being very tight-lipped about this right now. You poke around on both sides, and you're not getting much. But I would think there are some levels of protection in that deal, just because you go back to comments that Griff made right out, when the day that Zion said, hey, I wouldn't be able to sign it fast enough. Griff talked about, look, this isn't going to be, the easiest negotiation. He knew right then, like, look, we were going to have some things in there. And obviously he came back and later said that he felt Zion was a max player. That was never in question, but would think it would be something in there. Exactly what, maybe when the contract is filed, we'll, eventually get a little bit more details on that. But for now, I would think they have something in there.
Dave, I agree with what Griff said. You covered, Griff well. I agree that Zion is a max player for sure.
Yeah.
He's just not a guaranteed max player, right, Dave?
Of course. And I understand where the team's coming from, because you do have these glimpses when he's been on the court. He's highly efficient and bodies bounce off him when he gets into the lane, and he has a court sense and the ability to put the ball on the floor and all those things. And he's a singular name superstar. I'm just curious, Brian, if you have an answer to this, does the NBPA get involved in something like this? Because the last thing the players union wants is high profile players conceding guaranteed money. Like, this is the future of negotiating positions for players across the league.
There's provisions that are available out there. There's injury protections. I think Zach LaVine, would helpful, if I had the incredible, index that and intelligence that Bobby Marks has. I think Zach LaVine had an injury protection, for example, in his contract, that if he had some sort of injury to his knee, that they were protected on it. I think you can get protections on various body parts, and obviously there's sort of games played. I mean, those are negotiations, things that are already in there. Like if he had signed like a 5-year contract that had no guaranteed money in it, where it was like, we're going to pay you $5 million every 10 games you play, and then I think the Players Association is like, whoa, wait a minute, this is not what we're doing. I don't think it was going to that. I just think, and Griff's on the record is saying this, but look, I've talked to Griff about it, Andrew's talked to Griff about it. I don't know if you've talked to Griff about it, Dave. I mean, I talked to Griff about it months ago, months and months and months ago. I talked to Griff about it at the beginning of the season. They've been thinking about how this contract was going to be negotiated and put together for a long time. And I'm sure Zion has too. So I am not surprised that they're making a very big deal about the signing of it, because there was so much during this last season that illustrated that Zion and the Pelicans were not functioning efficiently. Is that a good way of saying it, Andrew, without getting myself in trouble?
Yeah, I think so. And then I think a lot of red flags went up when he decided to do his rehab in Portland and get away from the team, which he left the team in January. But when he did come back, he came back early from the original timeline in terms of when he was actually going to be back in New Orleans around the team.
The original timeline was a hell of a show.
Whatever timeline it actually was. But when he did get back, it was
the revised timeline. He did come back early.
He was obviously supposed to stay another, I think, a month in Portland and rehab up there. As he got back, that's when the Pels started making their playoff push. But the team had changed at that point. Then you had CJ McCollum around, you had Larry Nance around, and all of a sudden they were making that push for the play-in, and as the vibes were great around the team, and he wanted to be a part of that. And I think the big thing here is, even if you look at this team as constructed, this is the lineup. The last time Zion was on the floor, these are the players that he played with: Eric Bledsoe, Lonzo Ball, Steven Adams, James Johnson. James Nunnally got 9 minutes in that game. Najee Marshall was playing 23 minutes. He's probably a guy he's going to be, a 12th or 13th guy. I mean, this team has changed a lot around him. And I think now it is much better than it was set up, in May of 2021.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.